Hey, what's up, guys? Horror themed comics that have come out that have actually been pretty decent. I just don't grab them. I look through them. Of course, Lovecraft Unknown Cadith has been a wonder. It is if just for being a Lovecraft adaptation where I haven't heard one word about certain issues, it's nice to not have to hear it all the time. Um, uh, I actually have never read these Randolph Carter stories other than the one, the statement, right, which is a short one. This is really interesting. You see, Lovecraft was a cat person. It's interesting how in this the cats of course help him, but the ghouls, right? You see these ghouls here, right? And they're actual ghouls. They eat the dead. They don't eat the living. Are actually allies to Randolph Carter. Very, very, very cool. Like I said, I mean, and they have, of course, the text as usual. A lot of it, I think, is just it's just refreshing. On top of a good, a decent adaptation. Like I said, the color is a little muted for what I would like, but really nice. I like that. Good job. Uh, this reprint Ghost Rider. I went over Ghost Rider, the '90s one. This thing was huge, man, huge. This collects the first, I think, I don't know how many issues, first 3 or 4 issues of that series, man. When this came out, like I said, this wasn't expected to be big, and it turned out to be a hit. Looking through it's interesting. Looking at the old art. One of the thing about the Javier Saltaris and Mark Texeira was the art, like all the speed lines, right? This is when, you know, uh, anime and manga is still kind of like new, or edgy, for those in the know like me. But the speed lines, everything was speed lines. The action, the weapons that he had, the villains, like this son of a bitch, this dude, this was like we weren't sure if he was a real vampire or not, but he was such a murderous bastard. He killed a lot of, and actually one of the negatives of this series was Danny Ketch, Howard Mackey writing himself. This guy got away with killing so many people, and Ghost Rider never would never kill him. I remember getting pissed at that, you know. And that was there was an issue. Let's say that I guess in the early '90s, you don't want to have 3 issues. You don't want to have your like the Punisher was already controversial, right? uh, but still, man, these issues, man. These first, I think it to about like 20. I think Mark Texeira actually took over the penciling at some point, but he's inking this. Right, it was man. It was looking memory lane, man. This was great, dude. Attleboro Kid, Ghost Rider coming back, all new, all different with the flaming tires, right? Yeah. Anyway, uh, this I saw this. I said, Blade. I haven't seen Blade in a minute. So my man Wesley, what's up? Um, Now look here, Mark Russell. Now I've heard bad things about Mark Russell from like the Thinking Critical guy. Listen, all I know is Mark Russell did that awesome, uh, the Walmart, I think they were digest comics. He did this uh Swamp Thing storyline that was featured in that I don't think I saw the end of. It was brilliant. It was actually really good. I guess I should go back and find it. A lot of things have happened since 2019 and now. But I remember him writing that story with very unexpected twists. So apparently, uh, it's topical. Oh, it's topical. Right? Remember that guy? Uh, Apparently, as you can see here, at some point, Chernobyl was taken over by the vampires. Dracula formed a nation of vampires in Chernobyl over which he rules. Right, the UN and the Avengers. Oh, thank God for that. Recognize the nation's sovereignty under the condition that Blade serves as the sheriff. Interesting. Who the hell are you? Well, I guess NATO would have something to say about that. Right? Now you're thinking, oh, is this what's relevant to what's happening now? The idea of a vampire nation. Well, yeah. I don't want to make any jokes or any allude to the fact that you probably are living in a vampire nation or a zombie nation. Uh, it was an interesting story. It was a one shot apparently. Blade and this Eastern Europe, right? Like the second film, remember? And you see the conspiracy. You see the story here, right? You still got the T-34 monument. So you had some interesting things here, like the vampires. The different vampires. Adjusting to being a vampire. And of course, this one here, she's one of the ancients. So they also have difficulty adapting to being part of essentially a modern nation. Right? So of course, my man Blade is sheriff. Right? It was an interesting little political story, I guess you'd say, or a thriller, like political thriller. The idea of the vampire kingdom, right? People who are not doing well can go there, give their blood, live there, and then interesting, you have to right? Replace the population. You have them turned. Interesting. I always think this would be a fascinating concept. I've actually come up with ideas of vampires taking over the world and living in a society with them. But like I said, it was a one shot. Blade. Blade is like Blade was the guy, dude. Everyone forget. Not everybody, but my man. It's like like Wakanda, Black Panther, bro. Blade, man. It's right there in front of you. Anyway, one thing I leave off is I don't know when they changed the way Dracula looked. Dracula now has no beard, is very pale and has white long hair. But just to round this out, it's interesting when I look at Dracula. Right? I look at Dracula. Right? I look at Dracula. Oh boy. Dracula, bro. Don't he look like somebody? He looks like somebody we know, right? I have no clue I have no clue. What I was just saying. Forgive me. Who is that? Look, he looks like Anyway, around it. Apparently, Asylum Press. Right? They obviously these pre-code horrors are public domain, so anybody can print them up. I know they did one last year of vampires, and I picked this one up too when I was in Florida. Actually, at least Bloodshot One Shot, very clever. I like how too they list which companies it were. These are ones you don't see a lot of. Avon Comics, Toby Comics, of course, American Comics Group, right? ACG, Stanley Morse, I've heard of, and Harvey. What actually funny story. Listen, you either like the pre-code stuff or you don't. I can't see how you don't. Talk about so many cool things about it. The economy of it, the old art style. Trying to fit it in with a certain amount of pages. The editor looking, over your shoulder. Editors actually did stuff back then in comics. Apparently, this one was like a cheeky story, right? It was like a clever twist, like with a beet soup. You like beet soup? This one was the best one. The Wolpire, right? I don't know if this was how it was originally presented. I don't think so. Whether it was the coloring or whether the panel layers, I don't think this story was originally presented exactly like this. But this was a fun story. It was a cool story too because there's a twist in it, right? There's a twist in it that explains like why this dude here, this guy, this Korean War vet, was trying to save his girlfriend from a Wolpire, which is has the powers of a vampire and a werewolf together. It explains why this dude's able to throw hands with the vampire. He's like, I don't, I just thought it was cool. Apparently, something he lost from the war has been an advantage for him. We got the True Vampires of History. Obviously, this is Batman Elizabeth Bathory. Right? Little story here. This one, the taxi driver, Stanley Morse. Right? It's funny. Forest Hills. So this guy he takes the train to Elmont, which is funny because it's portrayed as Elmont's like this little town. Elmont is figured, where the racetrack is, right? The weird area of where it's like Floral Park, where part of it is Queens and part of it is Nassau County. But of course, there's a twist to this too, right? And to round it out, this one here from Harvey Comics, right? A funny story, meant to be very funny, right? But maybe not as funny now. But not for the reason you think it. This vampire's son is coming back from vampire youth. Like, how you doing? You know, he's doing the old rah rah cheer. You know, and the kid's like, I don't want to be a vampire, Dad. It's like, huh? Right? He tries to teach him how to like get victims, and he's like, I don't want to be a vampire. It's like, Jesus, what are they teaching you in college, in university? Uh, yeah, and like I said, he goes, vampire use changed, Dad. Vampire has kept abreast with the times. Things have come and gone. New things have taken its place. The younger generation is taking over. It's like, what the hell you like? What? He goes, you know, you're wrong, Dad. We've learned different things. Vampires are past. Somebody new is coming. Of course, the chick at the end is like, he's a ghoul. He turned into, your son turned into a ghoul. My boy, what have they done to you? Oh man, have you 56 or how many 50 years or 60 years later this story is, right? This actually makes this the scariest story of all, the one that was meant to be a comedy, because it's come true. Right, the goals are here to stay. Yeah. Anyway, a little fun there with the horror comics. Usually they don't go good together, but when they do, it's a lot of fun.